Okay, this is AC Starlord, aka Awesome, and welcome, aka Awesome, welcome back to my channel. And I'm going to be talking about Wicked, this movie right here with um the two witches from the West and the East, Glinda and Elphaba, and they have a weird and different dynamic. As you can see, she's on the green side of Emerald City, and she's on the yellow side of the City. She likes pink, she likes black and green. Um, her skin's green. It's a good origin story of the Oz mythos and story that we already know from The Wizard of Oz, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, and Oz the Great and Powerful, which is also a movie before this one as well, and takes place right after, well, it takes place before Dorothy. And this one has a slight reference to Dorothy, so you will see it very in the beginning of the movie. They also mention the very beginning of the movie that the Wicked Witch is dead. I don't know why you want to start your movie that way, but I'm not a fan of the Broadway play. I have one friend from my church that's a fan of the Broadway play. I have another friend that saw it as well when I went last night with him, and he saw it here in Houston. But this gotta say, this show was fantastic. This movie's fantastic. I see why it's making boatloads of money, like Moana is, and all these other um movies are. Um, it's just making boatloads of money. People are coming back to see this, but mainly it's the fans. It's mainly the Broadway fans that are seeing this movie back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, or seeing it multiple times, which that um multiple times, which is that they are literally just making money off of something that's fantastic. I mean, fantastic from the song Popular to um um Gravity to those are only two ones I can name off of. You also have the original Glinda and Elphaba in this movie, some sprinkled somewhere in there. You have Jeff Goldblum that plays a good wizard. You have a good story between I'm not making friends. I mean, she's not making any friends, and she's the popular girl. And then you have I'm an outcast feeling to I'm a popular girl to I don't have a friend. I now have a friend, and you have heartbreak with relationships between a love triangle between them both with the same guy that they like. Even heartbreak and broken relationship, and they're later on in the story with their relationship as friends. Has a lot of stuff that we go through as like human beings. Um, if we can trust someone, we can trust someone. If we can't trust someone, if we can't trust someone, we don't trust them, kind of thing. It has a lot of those elements in it, but also like finding discovery of, my if she has powers, finding her way of how to control these powers, and I really don't want them. There's also something with the animals in Oz that they can talk, but they don't want them to talk. They don't want them to be a part of human society, which is also something like piqued my interest in this because when we meet the lion, he's talking. We meet and they actually do have a lion cub in here, and he's talking when we meet Dorothy, right? And then you have the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, those are fine, but the animals that were teaching at that school was one goat that cannot be teaching anymore, and they treat him like an animal. And then they find out later on that Oz was the reason why the animals are being taken away, which is also a dynamic of changing for Alphaba's story because Alphaba was just an outcast trying to study her magic and her power. And then she's also trying to study sorcery because she wants to be something like that, but she's always trying to get in her way because they didn't like each other at first, but now then they start liking each other. And it's just a awesome show. I don't have any other words for it. I mean, this is just amazing. The production was fantastic. Um, Actual practical effect, first of all, practical effects, practical sets. Like even when they opened the very beginning of this movie with um I had to Glinda was reporting that the Wicked Witch is dead. Um and from a 12-year-old girl, I mean I think 12-year-old girl, they used 12-year-old girl or something like that, which we know that in the original movie that the actress was like 20 to 30 years old, around that age. Um, so they actually use flowers to like around the Yellow Brick Road. Um, and then just the sets of the school, um, the Emerald City, all that stuff was actual practical stuff that they actually used on set. It wasn't it wasn't fake. It wasn't CGI like we're used to seeing. And they put them behind a green screen. It was practical. It was straight up practical, and I like that. That's how Oz should be. Um, I don't know about Great and Powerful or how much it was in Wizard of Oz, but Wizard of Oz, I can 100% tell you that that was also practical. Um, that blew me away. Just the music numbers blew me away. The Wizard and I. There's another one. Popular. You're gonna be popular. See, Ariana Grande already did so side rant on that. Ariana Grande already made that song popular, popular. Ariana Grande already made that song popular with with Mika, another artist, and it's the same music of popular. You're gonna be popular. It's the same music, but different lyrics and all that stuff. But they used, I know what makes you popular. They used that line. Um, Go look that up. It's a side. You had to look. You put Mika behind it first before you put popular because they're gonna pick up pop up Wicked, but put in Mika if you want to be more interested in seeing two different versions of popular. Um, and it's just everything. It was a Broadway play. Basically, this movie is basically a Broadway play on film. It was kind of like the Hamilton movie. It was kind of like the not Hamilton movie, but it's kind of like the Hamilton Broadway production of 2016 on Disney Plus, except they actually used a set. They actually, I mean, they didn't use a stage. They didn't go back and film something on stage. They actually used a set, made sets, had these actors in this world, acting in this world, being a part of this world, and they filmed it. Now, I could say the same thing what they did like um um in the Heights, but this is completely different. But in the Heights, they actually used practical, I mean, they actually used, you know, um New York City as their backdrop. So again, going back to Lin-Manuel Miranda, even though it's not Lin-Manuel Miranda, but the thing, director of this movie was working with Lin-Manuel Miranda, so there's the connection with that. But they used New York City. They actually used practical sets and effects in here. So that's kind of cool. I like that aspect of that. The story definitely changes towards the like okay, the beginning's like they're on the wrong foot, and then in the middle they get on the right foot. Um, Linda and Alphaba. Then towards the end, they're on a separate path from each other. Like she wants to practice sorcery. She is being used for her magic and her sorcery because the wizard wants it. Because we already know, if you've seen Wizard of Oz or Great Oswald Powerful, he's just a simple man that came from Kansas. Yeah, came from Kansas, landed there in Oz somehow. Can't tell you how if you haven't seen this, but lands in Oz somehow, and he's just a simple man acting like he has powers. And they want Alphaba for her powers. And then she's actually the birth of the flying monkeys, which makes sense. but they didn't have to make them so scary in the original one. And even this one, they make them still look scary. But I think the most scariest monkey I've seen recently in film is Gladiator 2. So yeah, that's about it. And this movie is fantastic. I highly recommend go check this out. Go see it in this. Well, it came out before Thanksgiving, but still, it's way way past Thanksgiving, but still, it's still getting that Thanksgiving weekend after Thanksgiving weekend box office um, numbers. Go see this go see this during Christmas, before Christmas, or on Christmas if it lasts that long. It's probably gonna last that long, but they're going to have a musical version of this out. They're going to have a sing-along version of this out coming out soon. So go see this before Christmas or on Christmas or whatever you guys do for the holidays. Highly recommend go checking this out. You're not going to be disappointed. Check this movie out. This movie is going to be fantastic. Please go check it out. It's going to be fantastic. So I survived Glick, and then first of all, I survived Glicked. Survived Glicked. Um, I didn't see it on the same day, but me and my friend split it up. So we saw Gladiator one day, and we just recently saw Wicked, and we still count that as Glicked, but we had to split up because of work scheduling. He works. I had to do some new stuff for a new job, so we had to do a blended. We had to basically split it in half, but I survived Glicked, and that might be a mini video here, but I survived Glicked, and I if I did it on the same night, if we did it on the same night, that would have been fun and awesome. Both 2-hour movies, but we thought about it since we have different schedules. We had to split it apart because both those movies are 2 hours, and you know, I mean, like at least when they did Barbenheimer, we did Barbenheimer. Barbie wasn't as long as Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was 3 hours long. Barbie wasn't that long, so it actually worked, and we both had schedules that actually fit our schedules at that time to go see that and stay in the movie for more than the whole day almost. So, so if I can survive Barbenheimer and I can survive a splitted showings of Glicked, anyone can do that. So yeah, let's go see that. And then there's another big popular movie coming out at the same time. Let's do that. Let's make it happen. Well, us moviegoers make it happen. But anyways, if you like this video, put a like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and deuces.